Welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to talk about the first major approach to negotiating, distributive negotiations. The core idea of distributive negotiations is to distribute a fixed amount of resources, like money or the slices of a pie. Do you remember the bargaining range we discussed in Lesson 5? It is important here. If there is an overlap between your reservation point and your opponent's, the bargaining zone is positive and there's room for negotiations, remember? The point of going into distributive negotiations is to secure as much of the bargaining range for yourself as you can. This type of competitive negotiating is often called win-lose or zero-sum. Why? If you manage to claim a lot of the negotiation surplus, your opponent will be left with less. The more one side gets, the less the other side receives. Don't forget, the issues on the table are fixed. Or at least this is what you and your opponent have chosen to believe. But more on that in our lesson on integrative negotiating. Distributive bargaining is effectively a dance between your reservation point and your partner's walkaway. You're trying to learn or make an educated guess about the value of their walkaway, and use that information to guide you through the negotiation. In distributive bargaining, the goal is to reach a resolution which is closer to your target and, ultimately, your partner's reservation point, not the other way around. One thing you can do if you want to make sure you have the strategic advantage is to gain intel. You should learn as much as you can about your opponent and what they value. Your bargaining power is strongly grounded in how clearly you have defined your target, must-haves, and BATNA or other alternatives, and how well you know your opponent's goals. The better you are prepared, the more capable you will be to make informed decisions about when to concede and when to firmly hold on to your position to achieve the best resolution for yourself. At the same time, the rule of thumb is that you keep your own cards close to your chest and share as little information about your wants and options with your partner. There are situations in which this can be overruled, but more on that next time. In the academic circles, distributive negotiations are associated with aggressive and destructive bargaining tactics and suboptimal negotiation tactics. This is because one of the consequences of perceiving a negotiation as a zero-sum game is that both parties tend to put a lot of focus on their differences, instead of considering what they could both get out of the deal. The popular opinion in conflict resolution theory is that win-lose bargaining should not be used because it does not deliver the best results. However, there are specific situations in which aggressive negotiations make more sense than negotiations which focus around creating value for all parties. For example, when buying a used car or haggling at a flea market. We will learn why a bit later. So even though some theorists dismiss the need for distributive negotiating altogether, we hope by the end of the module you will be able to decide for yourself whether or not this approach holds merit. Next, we'll learn about the different strategies to claim issues and distribute the pie during distributive bargaining. Thanks for watching.